Twitch.
Oh, the whole Hero Assault one.
Yeah, Hero Assault community.
Oh, we gotta branding. We gotta let people know. Gotta let them know the whole thing. Jam it all the way down their throats. All right, so we are here today with Ajax and William versus Chris and Audi, also known as Double Trouble. Jog Double Trouble. 2 Jog members actually. Jog Chris as well, I believe.
We got some Jog representation up in here.
Let them know. Ready? All are. And we had talked to them. They had agreed that Chris and Double would take villains, and Ajax and William wanted to start on heroes. Kind of surprising, but...
Yeah, kind of unprecedented if you know who Ajax is.
Let's see, what music do I want to listen to for this? Let's do a little bit of this. Yeah, and they're off. Like we're heading
Double and Chris,
straight towards the city.
Immediate. There was not even contesting over here. Which I mean, I think Will and Ajax have proven their expertise over in the normal spot. So
absolutely. I mean, Williams played there for, you know, the entirety of his career. They might be taking them over here just because William doesn't really play in the city very much. It might trip him up a bit, but Ajax is definitely comfortable here, that's for sure, and I'm sure he's confident enough that he can keep William going out here as well.
They're destroying med droids already. William's got to be careful he's not caught here. Double's made it in between them. In fact, both villains have. That is going to be...
They have a choke on Ajax, yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna get the first pick off that. I mean, I guess they're just going for med droids here, so one death may not be the end of the world, but separating like that was unfortunate.
Yeah, I find, to be honest, if you're going for something tactical, oh, we do have a pause on the field. If you're going for something tactical like that, oh, he's just gone. There he is. Losing 1 life or even 2 isn't too bad. 1 or 2 points, especially this early on, the very first one, not really that big of a deal, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think you would be too worried about it. It doesn't constitute the end of the world for sure. He restarting his game.
Ruben.
Everybody's here for the first very hype match of the day.
Well, that's happening.
It's a big one. I think either one that wins here will make a pretty deep run through the lower bracket. So it's like one of our first matches in the lower bracket that you could not really say swings either way decidedly. Chris and Double have been a very pleasant surprise this tournament.
What's happening? Get myself a nice cold Propel. Start the day off right with hydration, folks. Especially because I'm going to be talking almost non-stop for the next, like, 5 hours.
You'll get a break when you have to play the finals.
No,
I guess it is.
Talking to Ninja.
You know what? Fair enough. Vader's back. Double has loaded in once more. You said R.
Oh, looks like everybody's ready. Back at it. Looks like they're not too fussed about... Oh, no, there they go. I say not too fussed about getting into default and then immediate U-turn.
Somebody on the other side said, wait a minute, we're not supposed to be over there.
Let's keep it city. All right, you're getting too close. Oh, my bad.
We'll say we were talking about how Will doesn't have much experience in the city. A lot of the no-forcers have always said that of the no-forcers, William is one of the few that actually does play over here and enjoy the ramps. So we'll see if that is proven true.
I can tell you the one time I played him in a scrim, over in default, I was having some trouble with him here and there, but when Joker and I brought him and Ajax into the city, William seemed to kind of fall apart a bit. They still beat us, mind you. They still did good, but I could tell he suddenly seemed kind of lost, and I'm wondering if that's just he's comfortable in the city with no force, but then you start throwing the force powers in that, he likes the ramps, but too bad you got pushed trying to do a ramp.
Yeah. I mean, it is a whole new world over here. You've talked before about how the default spot is much more open, whereas here, you have so many lines of sight, buildings. It's really easy to play low ground over here. So,
very much so. So it's actually a little bit surprising that the villains want to bring it over here, considering it's going to make it hard for Double to get chokes. Like, as you can see here, Ajax and William are just constantly behind something, always out of his line of sight.
Yep.
Oh,
nice push from the side. Yeah.
Oh,
I think
William
both are down.
No, he got away from William. If William had done one more push to get Double up against a wall, he would have got him, but he went for the dash attack, thinking that he wouldn't get his block up in time.
No, now this is where it kind of bites them in the butt, though, because I'm pretty sure William's just a bit tagged, and now they can't go heal. Oh, he's not as tagged as I thought he was, actually.
Yeah, him and Ajax are just missing little tags of choke. That's about it. But Ajax has to be careful here. Double's going to catch him out, and William is in time to attempt to scrap, but sadly Chris is in position. He's just going to have to let that go.
Yeah, he got the tumble, but his stamina was way too low for the follow-up in a safe position, and actually is just going to lose his life in the end here. Chris says, thank you, I'll take that from you.
Ajax, I don't believe, knew that William had reduck. If he did, he could have gotten in there, but there's one of those moments we talked about with he's saber throwing when it really shouldn't be saber throwing.
Yeah.
I did hear from Ajax, though, the other day. Apparently what's causing him trouble here is he's having to do call-outs for William, which is not something he's used to doing, as, when he teamed with us, generally we were the ones telling him what to do and where to go. And
yeah.
Now this is kind of throwing him where he has to be the main one communicating, and it's kind of taking some processing power from his brain away from actually playing.
Have we made our predictions yet? Yeah. Well, no, I didn't predict for it. We just said this should be much closer than a bunch of other lower bracket matches have been.
This kind of throws me off because in my predictions, I actually predicted that Ajax and William would beat Viking and Rex, so I didn't have them for this match. I actually had Viking and Rex in this match.
Yeah, I thought Viking and Rex have been a very pleasant surprise. I mean, I guess, I've always said Viking is incredibly underrated, so I probably should have put more stock in him, because I think he is amazing at this game. But Rex, I think, has done really well in complementing Viking, so it's really fun watching those two play.
He has. It's surprised me because the only reason I had Ajax and William beating them was I thought the synergy between Ajax and William would overpower Viking's Vikingness. But Rex actually manages to support him well enough that you almost wouldn't believe that they're like a brand new team.
Yeah, I agree with that. They even played you guys pretty close compared to some of the other duos that people said would play you close.
Yeah. So here we have the villains have opted to head over to the default area, and a lot of saber throwing going on. Double's missing quite a bit of health. If a saber throw hits him twice, he will be dead, but he can take one hit.
William has had some great pushes, and Chris is going to get caught out by it.
Very much so. He's been putting in the practice. He's been putting in the work. I'm sure he's been learning. Oh, Chris has spawned Cantina. Let's see if they know.
Hey, that was
going to go down.
That was very signature Ajax right there. You sprint at the guy in the aerial at the last second after that. And Double's going to blame lag on that one.
Looks like they're not going to decide to go in after him. I'm going to be honest, lag or not, he would have died to that aerial.
Yeah, I don't know. I know he's in California. I don't know if he's on Wi-Fi. If he's on Wi-Fi, then NYC does get pretty rough. But
let me see. Good show.
Either way, when he connects, he does just fine. So, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to predict this one. Ajax, individually is great, but he is, like you talked about, and he's talked to me about it, how he is getting used to playing a role he is not used to playing, and Double and Chris have looked very good at certain points in this tournament. It's fallen apart a couple times, but I really do think it could go either way.
Oh, William tumbled Ajax and didn't realize that Chris was coming in, but Chris didn't get the tumble on his push, and he's gonna kind of fall into... Oh, good idea from Chris. Sadly didn't work, but I definitely see what he was going for, and William's gonna answer by taking his health away as well. William's gotta be careful here, though. He's in the red. A lot of people are kind of low, actually. Both William and Chris are very low.
Heroes brought it back. It was like 1-6. They now have gotten that deficit within 2 points.
How is Chris not dead? Chris is not dead. Looking at his health bar, I'm going to guess one of the aerial had hit him, and the hit that he took earlier was a phantom hit. Didn't actually damage him. Because he's at 400, which is what one area will leave you at.
That's another instance of don't saber throw.
Yeah, I see what he's going for, but I don't think Ajax is thinking that Double's going to really aggress on him that hard. But you can see Double's he's looking for his picks. He's taking them carefully. He's playing how to put this? He's playing uncharacteristically to how he would in scrims, where, you know, in scrims he's holding W, he's holding shift, and he's slamming that left click and he's going in. But in here you can tell he's actually stopping to think about what he's doing.
Yeah, I was about to compliment Ajax and William, because you can tell the plan has changed on Heroes from when they played Viking and Rex. They're playing much more controlled and waiting for their opportunities. But right as I was about to say that, he threw that saber in the 1v2, and then I was, you know, I would have jinxed him. So I'm glad I got to wait till after he died from that.
Oh, triple push. Ajax fearlessly going in. Everybody gets pushed, and he's just like, well, I'm going to keep my boot on their neck. Oh, but he left to go get stamina, which is going to leave William alone to die, and now he's in a bad position. But let's see. Double actually losing track of him for a second.
There's been a lot of practice scrims I have. That was well played. A lot of practice scrims I've watched where Ajax still, despite getting used to the role he's in now, he has single-handedly taken over on villains. So I think if it's even remotely close at the end of this half, I would favor Ajax and William at the side switch.
Chris is in.
Not expecting Ajax to go for that push.
Yeah, Ajax does a lot of things that is like, you wouldn't think he would go for it, and it's not even because he shouldn't or can't, it's just, you would think somebody would stop and look for a second, but no, he just goes. He sees his opportunity, just like, I don't care if this is bad or not, I'm going for it.
Excellent follow-up from William there to keep Ajax alive, and they got a double kill out of that, and now the deficit is definitely almost, if not completely, gone.
I like, too, in that little tower battle there, it looks like William's healing, but he's on his way over. In the little tower battle in the hero spawn, that, when Ajax got the push up on double, William took the opportunity to get up there, start getting some aerials in, knowing Ajax is going to just keep pushing him up.
Ajax has to be pretty careful right now. He is extremely unhealthy, but actually they just get a double kill, and I'll stop. I don't know what I'm talking about.
It is interesting. I didn't think he was going to reach that, but, you know, he does Ajax no force things and just makes his saber reach out from fucking hero spawn to the courtyard and just hit everybody in between.
Yeah, Chris also did decide to turn and I guess go for a block on another push and walk forward, so he definitely gave him that one, but it was well played either way to anticipate. He may have even expected Chris to play that way.
Oh, William aggressing it on Chris, trying to keep Chris away while Ajax works on double. Looks like they're trying to isolate into 1v1s right now, but everybody's going to kind of converge back into place. And
it was a good read from William to realize that the maul was split from the choker, and mauls can get very vulnerable fast when they're split from their giant Vader, so didn't quite get any tumbles though.
Maul's block is bad enough, but Ajax is tumbled. Let's see if William can make anything happen here. He's going to go for a crouch push, but unfortunately he's just a little bit too far away. It
did work, though. Unfortunately, Ajax is going to go down again, but he did get Ajax up, so the mission was accomplished.
They both tumbled, both him and Chris, but because they were both tumbled, they kind of just got up and started fighting.
The advantage is a free cam. I just saw double turn around and Ajax was swinging.
They've spawned default while villains are healing at corner, and corner is the first place they go to check. I do like, even if I think this is the second time I've seen him do the crouch push and mess it up, but it's still good because, as I tell people constantly, you can't get better at something by not attempting it.
It was I think it was even like the first week that I knew William was going to start playing. He was already mentioning crouch push and trying to work on it. Ajax is going to get caught. Yeah, Ajax had no stamina, and that's just going to be a death warrant.
In that moment there, what William really should have looked to done is just leave him there for a moment and see, because if the villain's behind cover, don't worry about pushing at just the right moment to catch them both. Just wait and see what's going to happen. If they let your teammate up, cool. If they come out to attack them, your teammate's going to lose a little health, but you're going to push them down, so...
Yeah, I think one thing that Ajax has been fascinated with too is swapping at CPs, and it works really well in the default area. But at Hero's Corner, and I would assume this would be the case for Arena too, even though we don't ever fight in that area, but you can get pushed away from the switch before you ever get to it. So if you use all your stamina, you're just a sitting duck.
It's unfortunate, because while he was trying to get up to that tower, Chris got up there first, and his only option was really back off.
Yeah.
And get to the... But, you know, like you said, over in the Hero's Corner spawn there, it's just a big wide open area. There's nowhere for you to fall behind. You're just going to get pushed away.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still though, and even again, it's still well played. I'm really impressed with Ajax and William so far on this side.
William managed to do that without taking that aerial hit. He's still at full health. Nice. It's like we're converging back over in the city again. Ooh, double moving in fast. But Ajax responding just as quickly. William trying to pick up double, but he's going to get away. We're just going to shove it. Just go away, double. We're done with you now.
Double tried to Ajax, and I don't think you're ever going to get to do that to him.
No, not particularly.
Will is down, and Ajax likes to try. Oh, the choke on the Ahsoka instead of the Luke, and then they null each other.
Ajax, but he's going to manage to get it. Okay, he's really...
anyone... Won't even give Will the kill.
Really throwing William all around the place. But they do manage to get it, and with minimal damage, William's only missing...
That was a choice. Okay, it works out anyway.
Easy bait is what we call that. Now, it's moments like this where Ajax, he's going hard, he's going fast, but this is a moment where he needs to calm down a little bit. I know he's talked before about with his ping, he can't really do the slow in your face style, but at the same time, what he's doing now is actually messing William up with some of these pushes, because William's covering him pretty well, but I think Ajax is maybe panicking a little bit when things are going south and starts swinging and pushing wildly, and it starts messing them up a bit.
I think Ajax also too has a tendency sometimes to overheat a bit when he gets, when he's in a good position, being even with villains on heroes, suddenly it's like, oh, I can just keep going, when what you got to the even was the way you were playing to begin with.
Yeah. We do have a switch from William, though. They're going from Shock T over to A11. Ajax is going to go down here. Yeah, there, he's done here. William understands there was no getting him out of there. Oh, is he going to be able to make it? He's out of stamina, actually. He doesn't tumble. He's just enough to block. He's going to get the null and the kill. He's going to roll. He's just enough to get out. Beautiful.
So PSA to pushers in a 2v1 on villains, let the choker make the move. Don't make the move. Because if you go down, unless the choker's amazing, you're probably dead.
If you go down, you're leaving it up to like a 25% chance the choke is going to land and save you.
Yeah, just have your Vader go in. He'll take care of it. Well played to William to get the kill in the 2v1 and get out with his life.
But he just took a double saber throw, leaving him at red health. He's not too healthy, but he can at least survive a little bit of choking. Ajax is going to try to aggress here. It's going to leave him in a bad position, and William's not in the best position to get him, but Chris is known for his patience, and he's unfortunately going to wait a little too long there. It's going to cost him that twofer, and it's going to turn into a 2-for-1 trade for the heroes. In that moment there, Chris was rightly looking out for William, but on noticing that he was far enough away, you really should have just done something, push, backslash, something to keep Ajax down.
Yeah, I mean, the most safest option there is just to stand right behind the person that's down and push them down again. So,
Yeah.
you know, you have a ton of options available to you.
It's an interesting role. It worked, but not what I would have done, but yeah, it worked, so whatever. Turn on free cam for a moment while I change my music. I have the same song on repeat. I'm tired of it.
And Ajax and William are playing this so well, and it's really hard for Double and Chris to find openings at the moment. Well, they are taking advantages of the openings Ajax does give to them, so I will give them that. But aside from that, they are struggling. One hero's down. Okay, never mind. It works out.
Chris trying to knock him down or maybe kill him is actually going to pick him back up as he falls off the building, and it's going to get William the kill.
And he didn't even
I mean, and that's R2 fixing the droid.
They're going back to city here. They have decided that they will not be fighting in this location anymore.
I'm curious. Do you have the mod for team chat versus general chat?
Yeah, Double said that in public chat.
Okay.
I mean, to Double's credit, he's on the equivalent ping of Ajax, but Ajax is making it work, so.
He's on the equivalent. I think that's just not what he's used to. And
yeah.
As I think even you and I mentioned, no, actually it was me and someone else was talking about in another match. When your ping gets changed, you really got to change the way you play. If things aren't working the way you normally do it, you got to learn to adapt there.
Yeah, we did talk about that. I think it was during Ahil's match when Ahil was talking about ping.
There we go.
But yeah, I mean, you got to stop using your blink blocks. You block a lot more, to be honest with you, and you got to play around the more stamina that you use because of it.
To be honest, there are a lot of times I change what I do even under optimal setting. Like if I'm playing somebody like Viking, he's really good at baiting out your blink block or even getting that immediate push again after you've blink blocked and catching you out. A lot of times I just hold my block with him because I know if I blink block him, even if I have like a 20 ping difference on him, he's gonna get me.
Yeah. Got a scenario where two people. Oh, the second push to. Okay.
I thought he would push William there, yeah, like I'm sure you were thinking too, but no, he kind of just combos and lets that one go. He doesn't realize Ajax is in, but he does notice at the last second.
He did push again, but by the time he pushed, William was well past the line of sight. Double's going to get a pick, so Ajax is alone, but the Vader is left, and I think he's just going to stay alive for now.
Yeah, they're probably concerned about that spawn timer for William, which they should have been, because there he was, but Double's going to catch Ajax out, and he's actually going to miss one of his hits, but thankfully Chris will be there to clean it up with a saber throw. Very nice aim. William's going to have to be careful here, because Double is hunting him, and Chris is in position to push him down, but Chris is kind of being careful here. You don't know when Ajax is coming in.
Yeah, there were several instances where Chris could have gone for a push there. If nothing else, to make him stop sprinting, put up his block, and he didn't even do it once. So we'll stay alive, staying down in the line of sight, and now it's a 2v2 once more.
If nothing else, William did a very good job running around using cover from the choker and trying to keep himself distanced from the pusher. I think one of the times that Chris really had a good push on him, he would have just been right in front of the command post, so that may have been what stopped him there.
Another thing I didn't mention about ping, but is actually pretty big. When you block stuff like aerials, like perfect block it, you should just be using your force power. A lot of people, when you're on good ping, you can block that and then go for a swing. You can't do that on high ping half the time.
That was unfortunate for Ajax. He was getting choked, I guess, inside the command post, so he couldn't get the reset there. It's interesting.
Unfortunate.
Like, that's the first instance I've ever seen of that. I kind of kept waiting for him to reset, and he just never did. I guess he couldn't have.
What?
Way Ajax wouldn't have a very nice dash roll, and but he didn't get the dash attack, but Ajax doesn't notice. Yep, there he goes.
I don't. Well, Christmas played it. Okay.
Okay, I fixed it.
I Ajax just kind of stared at Double doing that. I was so confused. He threw his saber. Is Double low? No, he's not. He's half health. I don't know.
He's missing, but definitely not enough for a saber throw. He could even take a double saber throw right now.
He's even got the redux, so he's doing. I don't know. I don't know what the plan was there. Maybe he just had the wrong force selected. Either way,
what I'm going with. He's not the type that would take a saber throw that's not gonna kill them and leave them in danger. Nice.
Oh no! Well played to Ajax. Double walked right into that.
It's kind of wild. Yeah, it's kind of wild that he tumbled there. My only thought, I'd have to watch the replay. My only thought is he landed on the roof and started walking down, and so he tumbled.
Yeah, that is great. I mean, he ended up walking into Ajax's swings, and that's what caught him. You know, that no force stuff you're talking about. That's what happened.
My brain must have lagged a little bit because I don't know. I thought he was floating, but I was looking down, so I guess I kind of just missed it.
No, yeah, he was walking by the time Ajax did hit him, and Ajax using the power of hitbox knowledge to manipulate his swings perfectly for that.
I see. Jack's going in for, it's moments like that.
Actually,
it's moments like that. I think that Ajax does something stupid with the idea in mind that it's going to work out for him, because he landed perfectly on the building so that his aerial was going to slide him off, so even if he got choked when he got hit, Double couldn't really follow him down with the full combo.
Yeah, I think they've changed to this method where Ajax is the one going in to make room for William, and I think it has worked out a couple times at this point. It has killed Ajax a couple times too, but I think previously Ajax was telling me about how Will would be the one in front, and they've tried to transition now to Ajax being up front, which he's used to. So,
thing is, I think that works best for them because William is... in no force, he can be the one going in front, but in force, there's a lot of things that, as I've said before, his inexperience starts to shine through because he's hasn't quite. Oh, nice aerial!
Nice aerial from Chris. Yeah.
Unfortunately, can't do much about it, but he's gonna start swinging. Jump to avoid the push. Get onto cover. Unfortunately, Double's not quick enough to get up there. I would have already been floating and ready to choke him, whether he's above or below, but neither of them noticed William's going to come in and...
Chris? No! What was that? You can hear the choke, you can hear your Vader killing him, and you just walk in and push both of them down.
I could not tell you. That's one of those situations... Villains is split spawn, by the way. That's one of those situations we talk about where Chris has the knowledge, but he just sometimes, like... I want to say 8 out of 10 times he just makes that really, really bad decision for some reason.
Yeah, I'm trying. Sorry, I'm not trying to be overly critical, but that was like there was no world that was the correct decision, so I was mind blown.
it's you never want to really be rude to them, but you got to call out the mistakes, and that's one of those mistakes that are just kind of jaw-droppingly like, well, why though?
Yeah. Oh man. I was actually going to make a point of you talking about Will's inexperience in that courtyard fight, but that just got blown away by what happened there. So,
yeah, it's I was waiting to get back to it, but I mean, there's just always something going on. William's going to tumble to see if Double picks up on it. He doesn't realize that William stumbled behind him, and Chris is going to die. Okay.
Here's a question for you, actually, while we're doing all this, because you know what, I just talked about sound cues with the choke sound, and then you can hear the Vader knocking. Sound cues, how important are they to you in Jedi? Do they play a big role for you?
I actually keep my music pretty loud and my game volume pretty low. I've turned both the master volume in game down to 40, and I think I even turned it down on my Windows to like 25. But I change the volume on my music a lot when I'm playing, because some songs are louder, some are quieter, so that I can make sure I.
And they just got that last kill, but Chris didn't say pause; he just crouched.
Yeah, I think he was hoping for a pause there, but tourney rules: you call the pause and defend yourself until the pause is official. One of the things that I make sure that I can hear whenever playing this game is I want to make sure I hear people get choked, And probably the biggest thing that my ears are laser focused on, if I'm tumbled, I'm listening for sabers to turn off so that I know other people are tumbling around. You know, when somebody tumbles, you hear the saber turn off or just use that whoosh
Yep.
of their saber turn
Yep.
off. I'm always listening for that so I can know. It's in moments like that. It's in moments like that when I'm tumbled, if I can't see him on the minimap, I'm still listening for that saber turn off so I can know, okay, someone's tumbled behind me and I can react appropriately. Can I? Let me go.
I mean, he was disconnected. He was walking into the corner of the building, so that is your call. There was no way Double could keep himself alive there.
I'm gonna go ahead and say we'll not count it, just because then if he was walking into the wall, while it's hard for them to notice, that is a moment of they can't even really call the pause for that, you know. So
yeah. I was watching him. He definitely disconnected. Was just walking into the corner of the building.
So they were at 25, 26. They were at 26.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sound cues are a very important thing in any mode. Me and Volt actually talked about it a little bit. So he's asking him to get.
I have no idea what his HP was.
He was low enough for 2 saber throws. I don't know what that is in Vader value, but and Double looks like he's gonna oblige.
That's 100 above, but close enough. Like you're not really without a choker on your side, you're not gonna get him down. So.
But yeah, I think sound cues are super important in this game a lot of the time, and some stuff that you need to pay attention to. I make a lot of my decisions be that. Anyway, continue this. See if Ajax and Will can get a quick kill here.
Any other instance, I think I would have ruled that it would count if they were just, like somebody's talking to him or something and he's trying to go AFK. But in an instance like that, there was, like you said, there's genuinely nothing they could do. It's not like he could defend himself to wait for the pause. He was just gone.
Yep. They're definitely they're getting high pressure here. They're just wanting to get hits on Double so that he dies eventually.
Very much so. It looks like he's gonna go heal, as is pretty much a good call, to be honest.
I figured they were gonna make a point about that.
I mean, fine if they want it, but like, it's getting into real semantics here, where you're making the match complicated. So, I can tell you, I sure as hell don't know which ones are broken and which ones weren't.
Well, according to Will, there was only those 2 alive, so that's what they're gonna work with.
All right. Looks like Chris is going to take a hit. That's going to leave both of them at about half.
Well, either way, he's going to die, and that's going to be the end of it.
That still keeps the score 30-26.
Oh boy, chat's going to get all upset about fair play when it didn't make much of a difference.
Look, I'm with them on the point not counting. The health droids is getting a little pedantic, but I'll allow it because whatever, we're working towards 1 kill. I don't care that much. But hey, take what you can get.
Either way, it's still 30-26 at the end.
Yeah. Didn't really change anything, to be honest, so whatever.
Nope.
Free cam, so I gotta update the map real quick, but they can go ahead and go. Tell you what you should do, you should pass on to the makers of this caster app. Tell them to make it possible to set a keybind to check and uncheck that box. That would be very nice, so you don't have to alt-tab and do it.
Yeah, I can tell them that. Not even going to get the 1-for-1. Well played to William. Nice. Keeps Ajax alive and secures both of the kills.
Not particularly that it was a pause vault. It was more Double had DC'd and couldn't really defend themselves, so they couldn't even call for the pause, which is the only reason I let it go. If they were just AFK and trying to pause and able to defend themselves, I wouldn't have let it go, but it's not really much you can do when you're not mentally in the server.
Yeah, I don't know. This is such a silly debate. If they can't defend and both teams are okay with restarting it, there's nothing wrong with restarting it.
Mm-hmm. Looks like they're
talking about it like it's the end of the world is just silly.
They are gonna get William, I think. Oh, Ajax is actually really low health. I just looked, and low stamina. He's got nothing here. Yeah, he's gonna go down with that. I'm gonna guess. What they're gonna do is yeah, Naga, the thing what he had crouched to pause right as they got saber thrown and killed. So they had tried to pause. It was unfortunate timing where he DC'd right as they went for the kill. I think what they're going to look to do here is try to single out William, because trying to get Ajax's Vader is a battle in and of itself. But on top of that, Ajax is good reactionary Vader that you try to aggress on him, and there's a very high chance you're going to die for it.
Yeah, they tagged the reason that he ended up being so tagged with her was from the Ayla that Will previously saved him from, because the most of the dash did go off, just not all of it, and you have to get all of it on a Vader's health bar. So that was what caused the tagging to begin. But Ajax is going to get an excellent flank. He does get tagged again for his efforts. This man can't keep his health full to save his life, but it is a kill for them.
Well, you know, he's learned the game from me, and as I've always said, health is a resource to be used to get kills.
Very true. Here's again, Double and Chris specifically, happy to take this to the city. This time, of course, they do have the double pusher instead of the choker and pusher.
William's going to have to be careful here. He can't get baited into too many pushes. Just let them stand up. Now he's just going to go down.
It ends up working out. I hate how Chris plays the 2v1s when his teammate and the enemy are down. It's going to work out this time, but you just should never go on the ground with your teammate and the enemy, unless there is no other resource, like you're in courtyard or something where there is no building. But if there's a building, stay on the building. Top down is such an advantage.
I can kind of understand that. I'm one of those people though that I'll go down there because I think Chris does the same thing I do, where you want to bait the other person into coming in and doing something, like even keeping those pushes up, because you're draining their force, you're getting them to slowly close in. All the while you get to stand there and think about what you're going to do and how you're going to get this.
I mean, sure, but he's going to push anyway. In that scenario, Will is still going to try and push them both down again, and then you can take advantage of him doing that by being above ground. Just sitting there and holding your block, I feel like it's such a waste. And if you risk the block drop, and then you're both dead.
I'm going to argue a lot of other players would push. I think William's smart enough, especially on comms with Ajax, Ajax is probably even telling him just leave us alone. Because if nothing else, probably the best thing William could have hoped for there is just getting a reset and getting Ajax out.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. It is quite possible. Well, and Ajax is very confident in his ability to win the 50-50, I'm sure.
Very much so. Oh, looks like Double did get choked. He's missing a bit of health. That was a good choke from Ajax, catching him out. Oh, that's not ideal. That's not what you want to see.
Ajax is struggling, though, to find the openings at the moment. I'm sure one thing I've noticed about when I play Choker, the more you play against the people, the more you figure out when you can go and catch them out. So I'm sure the more time he gets against Double and Audie, or Chris here, sorry, he'll find more openings. But at the moment, they're playing very well around his Choker.
Damn, Double's good to be playing twice on two different names.
Yeah.
I think what his problem here too is Chris and Double. I mean, these three people, Ajax, Chris, and Double, play scrims together enough. They know what to expect from Ajax. They know not exactly how to counter him, but how to at least keep him away from them. And the unfortunate part of Vader, whether you're Ajax or Double or Naga or Ninja or even myself, the unfortunate part about Vader is when you go in, whether sprinting or floating, you're susceptible to just everybody saying, no, go away, and just shoving you out.
Yeah. He did get caught by double in the end there, so the heroes are extending their lead at the moment.
Looks like
See how
William
Will's plays for the
is
2v1, and he's
choosing
dead.
to fight this out, but he's unfortunately not used to those kind of corner battles there where you're holding their block up, and Maul is at a huge disadvantage with no side block.
Yeah, you almost have to, in those scenarios, you almost have to put your character where it's on that invisible wall where you look like you're standing on thin air, so somebody can't go behind you.
Either that, or you got to be ready to really give up that corner. Put them in the corner so you can start getting out, you know?
Yeah, very true. I mean, with only a 4-point lead for villains at the moment, this is, it's a 1-point game. We're very early in this half, but it's looking good right now. Looks like they are evading from this area again.
Yep, we're evacuating, heading over to the back of the arena.
It's Sandstorm on the normal area, guys. We can't fight there.
Yeah, it looks like Chris is heading over to heal.
I always hated healing at this droid. I feel like your back is just against the wall. Well, it is quite literally, but
It always gives me war flashbacks to I think it was our fight against probably Apes Together Strong when Ajax is gonna go down. Our fight against Apes Together Strong when we were healing there and they advanced on us and you and I started leaving and Ajax almost started fighting. And I'm like, no, get out. Yeah. We are not fighting here.
Ajax was again going for his favored CP swap. He was trying to close the distance and then regain his stamina, but Double just caught him out in it. Good push from Chris. Keep Double alive.
Oh,
There's a tumbled Vader and Will's pushed away, so this is just the kill.
Yeah, Chris was doing a good job keeping him at bay. I will say, very nice thing about being able to switch the chase cam and back very easily. It makes it real easy to take a sip of water. Just gonna chase cam for a bit while I handle something.
Vader's gone. We have swapped to the Anakin.
It is, and I think it's the right idea. Like, obviously, Ajax's Vader is top tier. He's probably #1 Vader right now, but the problem is when Vader's getting constantly pushed around, he's not accomplishing a single thing. And when it gets to that, you really got to bring out somebody like Anakin that has a different type of movement, more concise movements with jumps and landings. Will, with a very unfortunate tumble. He's going to be fine, but I'm sure probably even Double and Chris weren't expecting that tumble. Only anybody was.
No, yeah, they were just standing there staring. I don't even think they realized it happened. So, yeah, I mean, the thing about Vader is when you're fighting on height advantage a lot, you're always in a decent spot because your float is just very OP to keep you alive. But if it's anywhere near even ground or even buildings, I think I do prefer Anakin half the time just because you can jump normally. You need it sometimes. The float takes forever to get off the ground.
It's something that a lot of people have talked about, is that Vader ends up being one of the stronger. We do have a bar brawl going on here as well.
When's the last time you saw a Cantina fight?
Right.
And it's going to favor the villains.
Yeah, look, it's going to work out for them. Ajax was a very nice roll. I'm honestly shocked that roll even got him out of the combo that was happening 1 inch away from him, but he managed to make it work.
That all started because Double fumbled his combo on a tumbled Ajax. So,
what was I? All that just happened so fucking fast. Maybe I lose my train of thought. We were talking about float. One of the things that actually makes Vader one of the strongest chokers is his float, his ability to float choke. But it's also, quite honestly, one of his weaknesses because, like you said, you just float so freaking slow. We do have a double tumble on the field. We're gonna get one, and Ajax's block is gonna drop while we get the other. Unfortunate for him.
Yeah, he's talked.
Go ahead.
Talked before about how it's like so hard for him to blink block. And sometimes I'm surprised he doesn't just, anticipate instead and block before a push even comes in.
He has, a long time ago, I want to say about maybe 2 years ago, he had mentioned how he was just very good at predicting it, but I think he's tried to move over to blink blocking, and I think he was doing a lot better just trying to predict it, but he's going to go back to Vader. As is customary with him, he gives Anakin, 2 or 3 deaths, and when it doesn't seem like it's working out, and he heads back into the tried and true.
Yeah, then we'll go to about 4 or 5 Vader deaths, and we'll swap again. He does love switching to try and figure out which one feels the best for him, and it might be multiple lives before he does. It's a 5-kill lead for heroes, and I mean, this slow game seems to be favoring heroes at the moment, but by the same token, the villains can't seem to figure out how to speed the game up in a way that gives them the lead.
No, and there
That
goes
is a
Ajax
tumbled
again.
Ajax.
Oh,
but again,
Double's gonna mess up.
Yeah, I really do think he's struggling with his ping. I think it's really affecting him at the moment, but he's sometimes walking too far forward or not forward enough, and it's letting Ajax get out of the combo.
Yeah, it's he really needs to start being more careful with just absolutely trying to secure the kill, not doing anything fancy, not doing anything extra to try to make reach happen or look out for other people. I really think he just needs to, when he has somebody down, just focus on getting that kill.
Yeah, I remember back when I was on much higher ping than I am now. I actually did not like playing Luke because his combo felt the slipperiest to me. I would play something like an Obi or something where I had to use like backslash and stuff to take health away from, especially a Vader.
Honestly, it may be prudent for him to even switch to a Mace right now, because Mace is going to give him that quick combo. That's like, Mace combos are notoriously easy to hit. They kind of just have so much reach all around them.
It is very true.
We have a lot of low health people on the field right now.
Yeah, the only one healthy is William.
Which I guess is why he's the first one to head in, so he can open the door for Ajax to get in there and get somebody. But Ajax just gonna run Chris down. He unfortunately does not have enough stamina for a choke, and Chris is gonna miss the saber throw. Unfortunate. Double is in, though. He's on the way. He is here.
And Chris did a good job staying alive despite the missed saber throw.
Getting
Villains have closed the gap. They are ones that are now in the lead. Wait, no, they're not. They're down. They're in the lead. Does Ajax and William won first half, right? Yes.
Yes, so they are overall in the lead. But it is very close. They're nice push from Double, anticipating that Ajax is zooming in. However, hell of a choice going into the villain spawn where Ajax can reset, and you don't know how quickly William's going to be back.
Yeah. I was going to say, sitting on a command post for Ajax is a very debatable decision.
I'm sure that was very appreciated by Ajax. I saw him go in the spawn and said, oh, don't mind if I do.
There's a health pack on the field that nobody's picked up yet, and I don't think anybody is going to pick it up. So.
Look, there was a match last night where two people walked by a damage increase and a damage reduct back that were side by side, and I zoomed the camera in on it going, please, get the packs.
It's actually crazy how many people don't pick up packs. Double is one of the few people that I see that actually will spot a reduct pack and go out his way to pick it up. But it's such an advantage. It
is crazy how many people don't get them. I can speak for myself a lot of the time. Sometimes I do see them and I just leave them there. Either A, I'm going to go get it later, or B, I'm leaving it for my teammate because, I think they need it more or something. But I'm almost always aware of them and I have a plan for them. Sometimes, very rarely though, sometimes I just don't care. But for a health pack, always care. If I know there was, in fact, during one of my matches, nice saber throw from him. During one of my matches, there was a dual health pack that I saw at full health in the courtyard, and I thought, well, we don't need that. I went over to default, got hit, and immediately said, well, I'm gonna get that health pack. Bye.
Ajax with a super questionable decision to chase that. I would have let that go.
I understand keeping on them, keeping the aggression and pressure going, but like, you're going into their spawn when the teammate's been dead for a while. You know they're coming back any second.
On top of that, Double uses the reset almost as much as Ajax does, and that's what he did when Ajax chased him in. So he's not going to get. There's no world he gets that kill without some luck involved. So yeah, it was questionable. Maybe this way, we're heading for overtime.
They are keeping safe. Currently, the only person missing some health is Double, and it's not really missing much. He has just enough to take a double saber hit, but he can't afford to get choked and saber hit.
Yeah.
Or double saber hit is what I should say. Will doing a good job blocking in that corner, keeping himself from getting pushed with a slight little turn, knowing that he cannot block from the side.
Yeah, he's past force school there.
Getting the fundamentals down.
Yeah.
He's doing a good job trying to keep the pressure off Ajax. As if William wasn't there, you can bet your bottom dollar that Chris and Double were going to continue pushing and shoving. Oh, but William with an unfortunate landing. He didn't quite get on.
Oh, what a
with
choke!
Good choke! Can he finish this up? Yep,
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
And Will, actually, he took damage, and they both just dropped health packs, and he's right back up to full.
Villains probably breathed a bit of a sigh of relief there. There was a constant tug of war going on. That's the first time the cycle's been broken, and the villains get something twice in a row there. Who's playing after this?
Let me check the schedule. Next after this is Azure and Joker versus Lack and Isaac.
Oh, right. The match that Isaac woke up for, and then I think he went back to sleep or was going to.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, yes? Yes. Man, I feel like I'm in the match right now with what I'm watching.
Yes.
Oh, never mind. It was no.
Mayhap.
It's 50-50. Okay. Heroes came out on top.
Yeah, it worked for Double in the end.
Yeah.
Like 18 people messaging me about stuff while I'm busy. I got a voice message from Ninja that I can't really listen to because I'm streaming. But I'm just gonna hope that's not him telling me he can't make it today or something.
Reveal the tactics coming in for the matches later.
Yeah, you gotta keep that on the down low.
Yeah. You're gonna play Choker until we're losing.
I actually did one of the things that happened in our match. He wanted to try Choker versus you and Volt, but he had mentioned like 2 or 3 kills in. He was just like, playing Vader just makes this too easy. You take Choker. He said one of the reasons he doesn't like playing Choker is, and I guess his Vader's just too good that it makes it too easy for him. He doesn't have fun anymore.
Oh, I know. It stung. And seeing him switch in heroes or villain spawn, I was like, man, we fucking suck.
We do have Ajax keeping pressure on them. This game has slowed down a bit compared to, 5 minutes ago. Ajax...
Hey, you know what's always going to be crazy to me about that?
Yeah.
What's always going to be crazy about that, sorry, it's one of these things that will always be crazy to me, is that he's on default turn speed, and he thinks the game is too simple.
Yeah.
Who's on default controller speed and goes, man, this game is just, it's too simple. I gotta make it harder.
It's wild. I will say, the one thing I'll say about default turn speed is sometimes I consider going back to it for a bit, because I think, in my mind, an actual advantage to that slow turning is it forces you to slow down and think about what you're going to do. While I notice when I'm turning fast, a lot of times I just go in thinking I'm fast enough that I can do what I want, and sometimes that messes me up.
Yeah, I'll say that's fair. I've considered it a couple times too. It's just there's so much nice things about just being able to kind of flick my joystick a little bit and I'm turning to exactly where I want to go instead of, all right, well, give me about a country minute.
It really opens up your options a lot more.
Does making the excellent point that Chris is like 0.1 seconds from dead.
Since I had Discord up, I didn't have the caster app up on my other screen. And yeah, I didn't know that he's legitimately at 3 health.
That one thing I could, I think Ajax wasn't. They both just swapped to R2. William would have an insane double kill right now if he would have moved off the villain spawn. Ajax elected to try and secure the kill on double when he could have just turned to choke Chris for a half second and he would have gotten a guaranteed kill.
Yeah, now we have Chris up at 203. Not exactly healthy, but still enough that he can at least, take a choke for a second or two.
Ajax has to be careful here. Never mind, Double's just going to leave him in the corner and try to run away from him. And
a nice saber throw from William. I don't think that works does while team damage is off,
It does.
actually.
It does not. I walk around and destroy ammo droids all the time, point blank, and it does 0 damage to me.
Yeah, if team damage is on, it would work. Which is actually how people have died on PS2 before. Sometimes you go over to heal and somebody breaks the droid immediately and it just takes you out.
Sometimes I do miss the dynamics of TK on.
I do, but even though I did it as V wanted me to, I did still hate the team killing.
It definitely is a bit shady, or like I don't know what you call it, underhanded, I guess, but it did add a whole new dynamic to this mode, being able to do that.
I actually
Although it ruined the pretty KDs.
I think I was probably the only V member who sometimes Fierce would tell me, kill me so I can get health. And I just told him, no, go heal. It would mess him up so much inside. He's like, bro, just give me health. No, I'm not doing that shit. Good choke from Ajax, catching double out as he's trying to get on the bubble. It's something he's really good at, is noticing when somebody's trying to get somewhere and they mess up the first jump, and on the second jump, he's just on them just like that.
Yeah, I think heroes are struggling right now a little bit. The villain seems to. I mean, the gap has basically stayed the same, but it does feel like the villains are much more solidified in their game plan and catching people out. Which I did say, the longer you play choker matches, it feels like the easier it is to find the openings. And I think Ajax just died right after I said that. Nope, we're still good. Nope, never mind. So anyway, I'll keep my mouth shut because I caster cursed him.
Oh, I wish they'd stop doing that. I leave it on chase cam so I can type on Discord for a moment, and then they go over to the spawn and do their little reset.
Switch, yeah. Both, we got it down on either side, but double went to reposition, and it's going to result in apparently William dying instead of Chris. Okay.
Gonna leave Ajax in a unfortunate position. He's gonna try to perfect block, thinking the double is gonna combo him, but no. And Chris is just gonna land delicately like a ballerina in front of him.
Oh, what did I just want? At least they got the kill. Double did push it back down. Oh man.
I do agree with you, Volt. However, I am also of the mindset I've always liked team damage on. Because if you're trying not to be a bitch and team kill, it actually forces you to sort of learn combos and stuff, learn how to avoid hitting your teammate and combo around. It's actually something that I did a lot back in the Abyss on PS2, was I learned how to very carefully combo somebody around my teammate when two people are tumbled on top of each other.
Uh-oh. Are we going to get the waiting game now? Ajax and Will are not moving.
I'm looking at the mini map and it's looking like they are not having it. They're just gonna stay right over there.
I will say another thing. If you're full health, I'm still striking you to get you up. If you get tumbled right next to me, I'm not going to, even if TK's on.
Yeah, I'm in the same mindset for no force. Like, I would rather you lose a chunk of health than just outright die. At least then I still have you there with me.
Yeah, you know, if I had the choices there, you're still getting smacked. Well, gameplay's going to slow way down. It does look like Chris and Double might oblige them and come fight over here. That, or they're just going to come stare at each other, actually.
It is understandable, given the circumstances they're in. This is the losers bracket, so whoever loses here is officially out, and neither of these two teams want to be out, as both of them are good teams. They do both have a good opportunity here to muscle it out to the end.
Yeah.
It's interesting seeing the villains really stand their ground at the hero's default spawn of all places. Not even the default roof next to it. They want the spawn for some reason.
Yeah.
But it is understandable for them. I mean, they're down. They won the first side. They're down. It's getting dangerously close to a tie with overtime. And they can't afford that many more points, and they still have, what, 12 more points to tie it, and 13 more points. For some reason, +1 is hard for me. 13 more points to win it, while the Heroes only need 10.
Yeah, they had the gap closed for a while, but the Heroes have opened it back up, and now we're just going to get this constant waiting game. This might be the first longer match we've had in a while. I wonder how patient Double and Chris are.
Looks like they're patient enough. They're not rushing in, but they are kind of dipping their toes in, seeing what's going on. It seems they've come close enough for Ajax to finally decide, all right, I can work with this. We're going to have to see how they handle it. Everybody is being extremely careful. There's some saber throwing going on, but thus far everybody's still full health? Question mark? No, I'm missing a little bit on Double. Just a little choke, but nothing too bad.
Everybody's pretty healthy.
Does take one hit from that saber throw.
I mean, they are over here now. Villains are playing just incredibly slow, not looking to aggress too much, it looks like. I think the deficit is starting to get to them.
Understandably so, and he's... It's going to leave Ajax in a dangerous position. He's got very low stamina, no stamina. In fact, that was infinite blocking. Nice job on Chris catching William out in the air, which is going to leave Ajax to run to his opponent. He's going to take Vader to protect himself. He's going to take Vader to get a cheeky little surprise kill on a nice roll. Can he get the reset? He does not, sadly.
William did push too, so this is fair game if Chris wanted it, but...
Very much so. It looks like he is going to try to... No, he's going to decide to get out. Probably hearing from Audi the spawn timer and knowing exactly when Ajax is coming in. I do commend both teams though. Neither of them, we're down to the wire here, and neither of them are particularly giving up their patience with, you know, everybody wants something specific to happen and they're working towards making it happen.
I will say...
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I did not anticipate this. I thought that both hero sides winning, I did not expect. I really did expect both villain sides to win this match, but it's looking like it's going to be the exact opposite. At the moment, anyway. So
It is strange because I don't mean this in any particular insulting or detrimental way, but neither Double or Chris really have a unique set of heroes. Like, no. They're good players in general, but, like, you know, Double's really known for his Vader and Chris is really known for his Maul, but neither of them are really known for having a special type of hero. They're kind of just good players on heroes, so it's kind of crazy to see that, like, you know, we have a unique, like, Ajax on Vader here that's getting stopped in his tracks by just two solid players.
Yeah, he cannot find any openings, especially ever since that Double and Chris have gotten this lead. They can't find anything to make work here, so they have a lot of work to do. And the thing is, they eventually have to figure out how to get kills, right? You can't just run around forever, unless I guess we could play all day technically, but then the other matches couldn't play. So
yeah, if this did turn into like a 2-hour thing, there's going to be a point where I'm going to take a break and say, y'all continue, I'm going to go eat or something.
William is down, William is dead, and the lead continues to grow.
So as it is right now, it looks like Double and Chris are really just looking to catch William out, because as mentioned earlier in the game, Ajax is a hard one to pin down in general, but on top of that, with his Vader, he's even harder, so... Probably looking to prey upon the inexperience of William here.
Very true.
You know, I'm gonna call out a hot take here. I genuinely think Williams should switch to Dooku just to get that better block and defend himself better and stay alive. Because while Dooku doesn't have the saber throw to deal with this, Dooku still has really good combo, really good dash attack, really good aerial, and really good block to help with the close quarters fighting that they seem to be trying to force him into.
Yeah, his combo's actually annoyingly good now. I feel like as soon as you get stuck in that, you have zero chance of getting out of it.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
They really want a saber throw double. I feel like every time I'm watching them, as soon as double moves, they're trying to hit him with a saber throw.
He is currently at 800 health, but he's going to catch Chris out on a nice block from Ajax to keep himself from getting pushed and very potentially tumbled on the building behind him, which would have just left him completely open to Chris had it happened. But Ajax is also going to take a saber throw. However, with Vader health kind of just drop in the water, to be honest.
Yeah, you need a few more of those before it gets worrying for him.
I see what you're saying, Volt, and I kind of agree because the thing about the patient playstyle here is it's also working for Chris and Double because it leaves them with plenty of time to find their opening to get past Ajax and get to William, or even to separate the two and keep William from saving Ajax. What were you going to say, Cayman?
I was just going to say that I've totally lost my train of thought. I have never seen such slow play in the default side of the map. I've seen people chase each other around the map, but they were exclusively for a little while there staying on default.
Yeah, actually.
Both heroes are incredibly low and trying to heal now.
Yeah, they're both orange. Looks like Double just got to blue, and he's right back down to red. There is Williams up there. Okay.
Well, it's now 7 kills to 12. The heroes are slowly making sure that they have a very small amount to get before they win this match. We've gone back to City.
See, it's at a moment like this where if I were Ajax and William, this would be the time where I start breaking every droid but the default one. If they want to fight in the default, force them to go heal in the default.
Yep, that's a very good point.
I would even leave the one in the hero base alive and let them use it just to make sure they stay over there.
Instead, they're healing in Cantina, I think. Oh no, he's on Rocket. I didn't even notice. Mm-hmm. This is some true PS2 gameplay. We're getting the best works here.
What's wild is it's actually the PC players who are playing more like PS2 players than the old PS2 players.
The only PS2 player in here is Double.
Uh-oh, we have round-robined our way back into default, and Ajax was actually vulnerable there for a second, but
yeah, there was
afraid of him.
Yeah, there was a huge opening there. His reputation, I think, kind of saved him just a bit.
Pretty much. That's something that works against people a lot, and I think works for me too. Is it really catches me off guard when people come at me very aggressively? Because generally, my thought is, I'm me. You should be scared of me.
Okay, I guess it's a 2-for-1 in the end, but
I mean, it's still dangerous for them to be trading right now. Like they need 9 points to tie it up. Heroes need 6 to win it.
I guess if you 2-for-1 every time, it means you're good, right? I don't know math. I'm not that great at math, but I think at 2-for-1 you'd still win out. Oh,
yes.
Make it.
They would barely win out, but they would win it.
It looks like the spawn the spawn, or like the deadlock has been broken now that people are having to come off spawn, and Double and Chris are incredibly split at the moment.
Yeah, they Chris had just spawned default as Double was making his way through Cantina, so he wasn't quite prepared for him to work his way all the way over here, but he's slowly making his way over. Everybody's converging back together. Double's going to do a good job keeping himself alive until he gets over to Chris. Nice choke, but unfortunately, actually, I'm not even going to call bad aim on William. He had like 1 second to aim at somebody who was behind something. That was really kind of an impossible task for him.
My God.
Okay, he is going to make it work. He is going to make it. I was afraid for him there.
Ajax went hyper aggressive. Tumble comes through. Does William get it?
He doesn't know. He didn't know. I wasn't on free cam there, but for people who wasn't able to see from William's perspective, Double did actually tumble off and onto the awning, and if William had realized that, he would have been able to go around and get an aerial on him and finish him off up there.
Looks like we're finally engaging in action again, which is nice.
Ajax just gonna get pushed in place. He needs to watch out
I,
for
don't- I
Chris
don't
here.
know.
He's
I
gonna
don't
get
know.
tumbled.
Is this going to work out for heroes?
Yeah.
It does. I was about to say I don't really know what caused the change for because suddenly double was aggressive in hardcore, but they got a kill out of it. So I guess just aggress more if you want. But they were very content to play the super passive game until the villains got a couple kills.
I'm going to guess that there was just a shift at some point where either A, Ajax has realized that going slow, like this team, Chris and Audi can work slow, and so him going slow isn't really working too well for him. Nice choke, but nice push from Chris.
A beautiful push. It's going to be a death either way. A nice double kill in the end, actually.
And Ajax actually doesn't lose as much health as I thought he would. I thought he would have taken a double aerial on the way down, but no, he managed to only take a little bit.
Yes, double is on controller. In fact, I think he's on total default, isn't he?
No, he's on fast turning.
Is he on fast turning? Okay. Mm-hmm. I like how we have those versions of controller now. You got total default, we got fast turning. Maybe somebody will figure out some freak bindings eventually,
Well, Isaac and Tom.
Okay, fair enough.
Left hand on the controller. We've got everything here on this Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yeah, I think somebody called that the Frankenstein setup at some point.
Yes. I don't remember who called it that, but it was definitely called that for a time. I think Ajax is starting to catch out some of these chokes now, but it is putting him in a dangerous position. He's going to manage to defend himself, though. He had just enough stamina to heal, block and get out.
Yeah, he did, just barely. I play on Xbox One controller, Naga.
There we go. We even have different types of controllers for the different types of ways to play controller.
Exactly.
Now all we need is for somebody to play on a Steam Deck. Oh, that's an unfortunate tumble for Ajax, and William can't really get into position to save him. He's going to have to stay alive here. They really can't afford deaths here. He's going to do a good job getting the rest so watch out behind him.
Yeah, eventually you just gotta jump. You gotta something, change the landscape. Yeah. Sitting in a single corner ain't gonna work.
It's moments like that you really got to start watching your minimap, see the person coming behind you, and make a decision fast. Like even if it's just jump and get pushed into the air, you got to stall as long as you can for your teammate to get in.
Okay, they both need 2. Granted, the 2 for villains would just be for overtime, but they are both 2 kills away from securing either more gameplay or a win.
So I thought they were 26. It was 30-26.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, one needs 4, one needs 2.
Which means currently they no longer can afford 2-for-1s.
That is very correct. And they might get it.
Isn't in position here, but he is. Oh, well played from him. Now, this is where William has to be extremely careful. He can't afford anything, and the other teammate is in it. It looks like this is probably going to be
GG. Double and Chris move on,
but sadly not quickly enough. 3-point game, extremely close.
Yeah. Chris having a hell of a game.
Yeah, that was extremely well played by Chris that entire side. This is throwing my predictions all off.
Yeah.
Surprising the side. It was pretty surprising. It was actually kind of backwards.
We shouldn't interview. We are already 20 minutes behind.
Yeah, no, it's we're not going to interview. We're going to start working towards getting the next match ready, and I'm going to stop the stream for now and see what's going on with the next match, and we will see you all hopefully within a few minutes at worst. So thanks for tuning in.